That is a ripper, Carl.
That is what happened on this day for Barrow Day. Don't miss out on the little moments because the little things are everything. Now, tomorrow, Tony Sage, the owner of our Perth Glory, will find out what is the future of our Perth Glory. Some key decisions were being made today. Hopefully, he will have overcome all of the fallout from the FFA being cancelled and what it means for the future of our Perth Glory. So Tony Sage to join us tomorrow. And Charlotte Mills at 6:05 tomorrow night, the General Manager of Racing for Racing Wagering Western Australia. Charlotte Mills to join us off the top of our program tomorrow night. For the rest of the night, take care, look after yourselves, look after your family, look after each other, and we will see you from 6 o'clock tomorrow. After the news, coming up next, it'll be Chris Isley with Perth Tonight.
6PR News is next.
6PR on your phone. Now that's a good call. Download the 6PR app now and get all the news and talk you need.
On air, online. News Talk 6PR. Perth's 882 6PR.
More businesses to close as the federal government implements tighter measures in an effort to stop the spread of coronavirus, and work is underway to help those trying to access Centrelink. It's 26 degrees at 8 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Stone. It will soon be illegal to leave the country, with all overseas travel to be banned in a bid to slow the spread of coronavirus. Up until now, the federal government was recommending that people cancelled non-essential travel. The Prime Minister says while international travel has collapsed, there was still a number of people prepared to take their chances.
Jeez.
Scott Morrison says this will now stop, except in very limited circumstances.
There are people defying that advice and still looking to go overseas on leisure travel. They can't do it because when they come home, that's when they put Australians at risk. I had hoped that that would have been fully complied with, and I've got to say Australians have been pretty good about it. But we need to put that arrangement in place.
Details on the travel ban are still being worked through, but it's likely to kick in over the coming days. The Prime Minister has also held a meeting with premiers and chief ministers where they've extended restrictions. Shopping centres will be forced to shut food courts, with cafes and restaurants limited to takeaways. Beauty, tanning, nail and tattoo parlours will be closed, while hairdressers can provide a limited service. Among the controversial measures, weddings will be limited to 5 people, 10 can attend a funeral. Social gatherings at people's homes will also be curbed to no more than 10 people. The changes will kick in from midnight tomorrow and will be enforced by legislation. Australians will be able to prove their identity to Centrelink over the phone under new federal government rules. Thousands of people are lining up for hours to apply for unemployment benefits at Centrelink branches across the country. The MyGov website is also struggling with high demand. It's hoped the changes will allow claims to be processed more quickly. Elective surgeries in some private facilities will also be scaled back in a bid to free up resources to deal with coronavirus in WA. Another 35 cases have been confirmed today, taking the total to 175. 11 people are in hospital, 4 in intensive care. St John of God Group CEO Dr Shane Kelly says they're now limited elective surgery to only urgent cases.
Well, as a consequence of only doing urgent surgery going forward, there'll be considerable inpatient capacity to help with this crisis. So equivalent in the state's terminology to Category 1 and some Category 2, but only, for example, cancer cases that need to get done.
In other news, police have released security video of a hold-up at a Maddington deli. A man entered the Della Road shop just before 7:30 2 Saturday nights ago before threatening a staff member with an axe, demanding cash. He left empty-handed before returning and taking a soft drink. He has dark skin and was wearing a white and red long-sleeve T-shirt with black shorts. Anyone who recognises him from the video should contact Crime Stoppers.
Sport. Get your weekend sports news first with Front and Centre, Saturdays from 10.
It seems unlikely the A-League competition will resume after Football Federation Australia suspended the season. With only a few rounds left, the competition has been paused. However, the FFA will review their decision next month. The competition usually finishes in May. FFA CEO James Johnson says the well-being of players has been paramount, but the decision has been made for logistical grounds.
And as a national competition, a competition that is played in almost all parts of Australia. It's also played in New Zealand. Mission complicated became mission impossible.
Sydney FC would finish top of the ladder 8 points clear. Perth Glory are currently fifth. The Glory's closed-door game against Western United yesterday was postponed. And Gold Coast co-captain David Shallow has accepted a one-match ban for striking. Shallow hit Port Adelaide veteran Justin Westhoff in the head with a high elbow. It's 8:05. That's the latest news and sport.
Weather.
Clear with light winds and dropping down to 22 degrees tonight. Partly cloudy with a top of 35. Tomorrow, 37 and a possible shower on Thursday. Friday, partly cloudy and 29. Right now, it's 25 degrees. This is Perth's 882 6PR.
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Isley.
Might be a case of another night, another announcement from the Prime Minister. We're going to catch up with our political editor from 9 Radio, Michael Packey, very soon. Talk about the Prime Minister who gave an address a little while ago, further limiting public gatherings, and we'll go through a whole list of stuff. Also, Ben Aylett's going to join us to talk technology. While we're talking about things that are restricted, Chris Smoyer, our customer service expert, is going to join us. Also, while people are a bit stressed, we're going to have a look at human behaviour with Amy Jacobson, and Marnie Lishman, who's our psychologist, will join us a bit later too. God knows we could use some professional help right now. Musical notes on the way, and loads of time for your calls too if you'd like to join us. 9221 882, the telephone number. Emails chrisrisi at 6pr.com.au. You can also follow us on Twitter. It's at ChrisIPerth, and 6PR Perth Tonight on Facebook.
Until midnight, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Isley on 882 6PR.
Like I said, another night, another load of restrictions from the Prime Minister. In fact, the key message is to stay at home unless you're going to work, shopping, or for the basics, and perhaps even attending a medical appointment. Other than that, stay at home. Michael Packey, our national political editor for 9 Radio, joins us on the program tonight. Michael, thank you very much for your time.
No problems, Chris.
Mate, there is so much to go through here. A whole raft of new restrictions, including food courts, although I believe takeaway is still going to be permitted there.
Yeah, look, it was another hour-long press conference with the Prime Minister and the Chief Medical Officer just going through a whole bunch of things, and these restrictions have now been extended. As we know, on Sunday, the Prime Minister announced that people weren't allowed to go to cinemas, to the gyms, to pubs or clubs. Those sort of things were going to be closed. Well, now that's been extended. Shopping centre food courts, they're going to be closed. They're just limited to takeaway service in a similar way to restaurants and cafes. So if you're a shopping centre,